The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Sure, Mr. Tompkins. Oh, I've got this press book for you on Frank Carver. Tells all about him.
I don't need that, thank you.
Suit yourself.
I intend to.
So, Bracken signed Frank right after the Pro Bowl game, and here he is.
How do you feel about it, Frank?
Well, I don't know, Mike. I just got here.
You ever have the acting bug as a kid?
Oh, no. Strictly football.
Frank, my viewers couldn't care less about your acting. Let's talk about that draw play in the Pro Bowl. You're 3rd and 5 on your own 10 with 2 minutes to go and 4 points down. How did you feel when Gabriel called your play?
Well, you don't really think about it. You just do it. Well, the handoff was perfect. Once I got into the secondary, why, I think it was Pat Studsteel's downfield block that really sprung me.
Oh, come on. You broke 3 tackles and went 90 yards for that touchdown.
What? I'm sorry. We kind of had to start without you.
It's all right, Artie.
I want you to meet Frank Carver. Frank, this is Ward Tompkins.
I've heard of Mr. Tompkins. How do you do, sir?
Very well, thank you. Ward, this is Charlie Ryman, Frank's business manager.
Hi, Ryman.
Ward has a TV commentary show here in town.
Oh?
I saved a spot for you. Would you like some coffee?
Thanks very much, Artie. Yes, I would, actually.
Frank, about that draw play.
Mike, would you excuse me, please? I'm rushed. Mr. Carver, you made Rookie of the Year with your first season in the National Football League.
That's right.
And for the past 2 years in a row, you've been named Most Valuable Player. Thank you very much.
Well, that's all old history.
Yes, I know, but those are very, very impressive credentials. You were impressed, weren't you, Mr. Grant?
Frank is a very impressive man, Ward.
Indeed he is, as a football player. But if you don't mind my asking, what made you think of him as an actor?
Athletes have become actors before.
Very few.
Oh, well, Duke Wayne hasn't done too badly.
Well, you signed Todd Skinner to play the role that Mr. Carver's going to do now, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
But you did want him for the part, didn't you?
He was under consideration, so were a number of others.
Quite an actor, Todd Skinner. You must have made quite a test, Mr. Carver. You did make a screen test, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Well, that's very interesting. It's very unusual, too, isn't it, Mr. Grant?
It's happened before, Ward.
That's not what I'm asking. What I am asking is, how do you feel being forced to use a totally inexperienced actor in a major role?
It's a challenge.
A challenge.
That's right.
I suppose if you saw it in any other light, you could hardly say anything about it right now, could you?
Hey, Ward, put the needle away, huh? Frank, you're not thinking about retiring from pro ball, are you?
Well, let's just say that depends on a number of factors.
Like money?
Well, that always enters into it, doesn't it? Frank enjoys a very warm personal relationship with Bill Honeycutt, the owner of the Knights. You could say we're talking.
You've got another 3 or 4 good years left in the NFL, Frank. You're not gonna give up, are you?
Well, it's hard to say right now. Of course, as Charlie says, we're still talking to Bill Honeycutt.
That puts you in the enviable position of being able to play one off against the other, doesn't it? Honeycutt and the New York Knights versus Century Pictures and the motion picture career. Sort of tends to drive the price for your services up on both sides, doesn't it?
Ward, you can look at it that way if you want to, I suppose. But I think you should remember it was Mr. Bracken who went to Mr. Carver, not the other way around.
He certainly didn't waste any time in accepting, did he?
Would you?
I think a good long time before I'd take a job away from a man who spent a good part of his life perfecting himself as a professional actor. How do you feel about that, Mr. Carver?
Mr. Tompkins, I'm not an experienced professional. I never pretended to be. I've made commercials in New York. I've done the interviews and the talk shows. I don't know what the front end of a camera looks like. Besides, I'm not carrying this picture by myself. I've got Mr. Grant here, John Vallon himself helping me. Mr. Vallon's been starring in pictures since before I was born. I hear he likes to work with young actors. So I don't think I can go too far wrong. Do you?
Okay, fellas, the bar is open. What'll you have?
All right, sir. Do you have any tack? Okay.
Think you can handle this?
You bet I can handle it.
Big studio date at the pool table with a football superstar. Oh. Don't you think all those photographers and all that publicity will upset you?
Oh, it'll be a terrible strain. But I think I can manage. Hey, I've got a capri outfit of my own. Remember that lavender pantsuit I wore in?
I'll see if I can spring it from wardrobe for you.
Oh, thanks, Laura. I'm going to go on over there. What's this Frank Carver like?
Does it matter?
Well, Kevin asked me to work with him in a scene.
Well, as I live and breathe, it's Rachel Holt.
Hello. Well, it looks like I'm going out with your boy.
Mm-hmm. Publicity, I'll bet.
Well, what else? Well, I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Publicity.
Don't you like that word?
Well, it's part of the business. I do like to see my films sold and sold well. I just don't like to see it interfere with working with the actor.
How'd the press conference go?
He handled himself very well. I don't know what it has to do with acting, but, well, that's our problem, I guess. You been given any time to work with him yet?
No.
Nothing scheduled at all?
All I've heard is that they wanted me to get him a date for this reception, and I did. What's the matter, Kevin?
Oh, I don't know, Laura. It's wrong. The whole thing is wrong. Dead wrong. It's wrong now, and it's going to be more wrong later.
You saw the commercials he made. He has a good screen presence.
David, he might even turn out to be a fine actor. The point is, nobody knows, and I have to know before I start shooting, which is 1 week from today.
I guarantee you there won't be any stopping. So don't worry about that, huh?
I'm not worried about the stopping. I'm worried about starting it. While we're at it, thank you for my executive producer.
It's just a title for Mr. Charles Ryman. It's part of the deal Bracken had to make to get Frank Carver. It doesn't mean a thing.
Well, he's promised me time to spend with Carver. And I don't care whose toes get stepped on, I'm going to have that time. David, well, what if Carver can't cut it?
We do the film anyway.
Oh, come on, David.
If we have to, we shoot around him, cut the Vallon's reactions. You know all the tricks.
Oh, sure, I know all of the tricks. The only trouble is, so does all of the industry and half the audience, and they know that they're all phony. Now, maybe 10 years ago I could have gotten away with it, but not now, and I don't want to have to try.
Kevin, we don't have a choice. John Vallon has $1 million pay-or-play clause in his contract. Now, he gets paid whether he makes the film or not.
So we make the film.
That's right. Every major studio in town does its commercial westerns. Stagecoach started out as one of them, so did Red River. If we can make one even half that good, the profits will be enough to make 3 of the kind of features you like to make. Hey, I know you don't want to make this picture. I'm not crazy about it myself. But Bracken is. He wants it done, and he wants it done with Frank Carver. So we go along with it. We do it, because that's our job, right?
Okay, what about my time with Carver?
Today's shot, and tomorrow he has interviews all day. We can probably squeeze in an hour right after lunch. And tomorrow night's a reception at the pool table.
Doesn't give me much time with him. Look, David, the day after tomorrow, I have some wardrobe and makeup tests on stage 22.
Right at 9 a.m.
I want a full sound crew on that stage.
Sound crew? That's not authorized.
Well, authorize it. David, I've got to get some acting film on him, and wardrobe and makeup tests are not going to tell me what I need to know. You've got to help me, man.
Yeah, room 4A at 2 o'clock? Yes, I'll tell him. Thank you very much. Oh, Mr. Skinner stopped by to drop off the script.
Hello, Todd.
Hi, Mr. Grant.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. What I really want to do is thank you for the note.
Well, I meant it. I wanted you to play that part. I really did.
Thank you. I think I understand. Frank Carver sells tickets. Todd Skinner doesn't.
Well, someday Todd Skinner will.
Thanks.
Wait, Todd. Have you got a minute?
Yes, sir.
Hold my calls, Mitch. Come on. Todd, I'm shooting a test Thursday morning at 9 o'clock on stage 22. Scene 273 from the Sooners. I'm shooting with Frank Carver. I want to shoot it with you, too.
Isn't Carver signed?
Yes. Yes, he is. What I'm talking about is a chance. A wild chance, nothing more. You want to take a chance with me?
Yes, sir, I do.
Good. Then you be here Thursday morning. You wait in the office, and when I finish with Carver, I'll give you a call to come down to the stage.
I take it you don't want this advertised.
No, I don't.
It won't be. See you Thursday.
Good.
You're going awful far out on the limb with this, aren't you?
Get out of here.
Okay.
To cut in on your lunch, but that gives us an hour, and we need it.
That's all right, Mr. Grant. I'm the one who needs it the most.
Okay, let's start scene 273. It's on page 120.
Oh, yeah, I remember the scene.
Why do you remember that scene in particular?
Well, of course, I went to college on a football scholarship, but I majored in English. And as I remember, there's a thing in every story called a recognition scene. And this is the one in here, I guess.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. Tell me, what does the scene mean to you?
Well, all during the story, John Vallon, my father, is getting the family ready to come into the Cimarron Strip before the gun goes up. And, well, he wants to set up a kingdom of his own and all his own laws. And I, being the oldest, his number one son, I have to make up my mind whether I want to go along with him or not. And this is the scene where I do that.
Very good.
Frank, your own father, is he anything like the character that Vallon plays?
No, not really. My father was a quiet man. I never really got to know him very well. He died when I was a kid.
Well, you've had various other authority figures. Oh, the coaches you play for.
Yes, ma'am.
People like Bill Honeycutt, Charlie Ryman.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, how would you feel inside if you went against anything they said?
Well, I don't know. Nothing like that's ever really happened.
Well, certainly you've had some disagreements.
No, not really.
Now, Frank, what we're trying to do is find an emotional line for you to play. And in the scene with your sister, you decide to go against your father and this empire that he wants to build. Now, do you have any ideas as to why you might want to do that?
Well, it's wrong. It's illegal.
What about disappointing?
What do you mean?
Well, your father means a great deal to you. You love the man. Now, when you really find out the extent of what he intends to do, mightn't you become a little disappointed in him? Maybe even feel a little sad about it.
That's what you want me to act?
Well, it's a possibility. Actors often look at scenes and see things that the writer, the director, never even thought of. I mean, they're not always right, but these thoughts come to them. It's a kind of an intuitive thing. Now, the disappointment that I just talked about is just one of the things that could occur to you to play. There are many others.
All that in just a few lines?
Well, that's what acting is all about, Frank.
Boy, I guess I didn't know how difficult it was.
Shall we read some of it, Kevin?
Yeah. Laura's going to read the part of your sister. Let's take it right from the top. It's an exterior scene. Now, you have just discovered that the food and supply wagons are actually loaded with powder and ammunition. You have a reaction to that. I'll start with a close shot and pull back to include your sister Janie as she makes her entrance into the scene. Okay, Laura?
What you looking at, Jason?
Okay, right this way, guys. I'm sorry to break this up, Kevin, but I brought along some of Frank's friends.
What the hell have you got here?
Just something that's going to sell 1 million tickets for you, friend. Kevin, I want you to meet the offensive backfield of the New York Knights. Fellas, this is Kevin Grant. Frank's producers who treat him right, all right? Look this way, Mr. Grant. Kevin, these are the fellas that make Frank look good every Sunday.
What they got you made up in? Is that thing real?
I don't know. They just strapped it on me.
Well, sure be one way to get through that ram line.
Yeah, I wonder what the penalty would be.
15 anyway.
Years or yards.
Certainly appreciate you bringing out some of your players, Miss Donegan.
Well, a little publicity never hurt anybody.
Okay, fellas, I'm trying to get a little action for you, all right? Just stick with me, all right?
Right with you.
Hey, fellas, why don't you run a play for us, huh?
Let's get some big pictures of, all right?
Yeah, good.
I swear. You know, I got to see you run an outfit, David.
Me too. Let's give him 31.
All right, has to be.
Thanks a lot, fellas.
Brown, right, 31, draw. 1, 2, 3, go!
You, baby? Hey, wait a minute. Hey, you don't have a center. How can you run a play if you don't have a center, right? Hey, Rachel, come here for a second, will you, honey?
What do you want, Artie?
How about that?
That's great. I'd love to.
Fellas, I want you to meet Rachel Hope. She's going to be your new center. Right? She's going to be your date for tonight. I don't think it's going to work if she gets down like a regular center.
No, I suppose not. Listen, Rachel, here, you take the ball, and on the second hut, you just hand it to me.
Second hut.
Okay. Ready? On stand red. Hut, 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 hut. Oh, that was beautiful. That was terrific.
Kevin, this is Bill Honeycutt, owner of the Knights. Kevin Grant.
How do you do, Mr. Honeycutt?
Grant, you the one that's going to make an actor out of my running back?
Well, we're going to give it a try.
Well, I wished I could wish you luck, but I'd be lying. I'd like to have him back with me.
I think I can understand you.
I don't know what it is about Frank, but I've gotten close to him. Don't usually do that with my players. Tends to make for good friends, but it's bad business. I imagine you and I'll be talking a little business, Charlie.
Oh, I suppose we could get the preliminary sparring out of the way anytime you say, Bill.
Well, with Frank making the most valuable player in the Pro Bowl for the second straight year, he'll be holding me up for a bundle on next year's contract.
Now, I only want what's fair for Frank. You know that, Bill.
Oh, why don't you stop, Charlie? You're going to make me cry. You know, the way I look at it, it's the MVP award is worth $20,000. Why don't we just add a flat 20 to Frank's salary?
Oh, I don't know if this is the time to talk figures, Bill. After all, we have several months for that, haven't we? Besides, once this movie is out, Frank may find a whole new career open for him.
Charlie, why don't you and I take a bit of a stroll? At least we might come up with a starting point. Mr. Grant?
Mr. Honeycutt. I have to wonder who is using whom.
What do you mean?
Is Century Pictures using Frank Carver to make a few dollars?
Hey, Brown!
Or is he using us for exactly the same reason?
Frank, why don't you make believe that you're showing her how to do it?
Right.
How's this, fellas?
Lift your head up a little, sweetheart. That's it.
Can't see the shot like that.
Oh, well, don't worry about it.
Anytime you're ready, Rachel.
Make the shot.
What a half hour it is. Isn't that about enough?
No, not yet.
Frank, put your arm around her waist again, okay?
Now, that's not so bad, is it?
It is when you want privacy.
All right, Rachel, let's do it.
Okay, that's enough for now. We'll get some more in the other room later, okay? Why don't you have a drink on Century Pictures? Why don't you kids take a breather? I'll meet you in the bar later, okay?
That's too much like work.
Do you really know how to play this game?
Well, I'm fair at it, yeah.
Can you make the combination 12 in the corner pocket?
Combination 12 in the corner pocket. I don't know, can you?
English.
Okay, I'm impressed. All this publicity, it's important to you, isn't it?
Well, of course.
I mean, you really liked it.
Liked it. That wasn't just local talent we had this afternoon and tonight. We had full wire service coverage. We're going to be in the papers all over the country. I loved it.
Why?
Because that's how a career is built in this business.
That's what you really want?
Ever since I saw my first movie.
You know, it's funny, I never found football like that. It was just something I could do, so I did it. Well, I grew to love it, but that came later. What do you say we get out of here, Emma?
Why? They'll just want some more pictures.
Well, they'll always want just one more. Look, there's a place on La Cienega Boulevard where we go when we play the Rams. We could go there for one drink, and maybe some of the guys will be there, huh?
We'd be foolish to throw this away.
Well, how do I get you away from the cameras? Look, I know this was a prearranged studio date, but I would like to get to know you, you know.
Not tonight, Frank.
When?
Frank, please.
Well, suppose I get Artie and a couple of photographers. Would you go out with me then?
Yes, I would.
Well, doesn't that strike you as being a bit phony?
If I lied, I'd be phony. I'm an actress under contract to a studio. If going out with you means publicity for the studio...
And for you.
And for me, then I'll do it. For anything beyond that, I'm just not interested.
Swell, you can take all this phony Hollywood junk as long as you can justify it to yourself. That makes it all right.
Yes, as long as I'm honest about it. And while we're talking about all this phony Hollywood junk, what about you? I mean, you weren't exactly hiding from those cameras today. Publicity hasn't hurt your career, has it?
Who's the phony, Frank? Me, because I admit that I need and like publicity? Or you, because you're pretending you don't?
All right, so we're both a couple of phonies. You know what they say about two people who argue, don't you? Two people who just met, right away they start trying to put each other down. It's supposed to mean that underneath they really are attracted to one another.
You're way over my head.
No, I'm not. You know exactly what I mean. There's a bar in my hotel. We could go over there and relax, and no one would bother us. We could talk and get to know one another.
At your hotel?
Sure.
What has happened to that place on La Cienega?
Oh, there was a fire, a terrible fire. It just destroyed the whole place. All right, you don't like the idea of my hotel. Why don't we stop somewhere and pick up a bottle and go over to your place for a drink?
Look at me. What do you see?
Well, a whole lot of girl.
What do they call somebody like me where you're from? Starlet?
Well, I guess.
What does a starlet mean to you?
Well, it means a beautiful girl, an actress, you know.
I'll tell you what it means to Frank Carver. It means that Rachel Holt is a cinch.
Now, wait a minute.
You're a big boy now. Can't you tell the difference between somebody who wants to build an image and somebody who wants to...
Forget it.
Hello, Mitch. We'll be ready to start shooting the test in a few minutes. Is Todd Skinner there yet? Good. Well, he knows the scene to study. Just tell him to wait in my inner office. Give him a cup of coffee. I'll call him when we're ready. Okay. Mitch. Nobody knows he's there, right? Okay. Bye-bye.
Look, I fought me one war, and that's enough for any man. I came along on this to plant seeds in the ground, watch them grow, raise cattle and a family, and make a place for myself. Paul knew that's what I wanted. If he should have known, I would have had no part in this.
Well, how does the scene feel? Are you, comfortable with it?
Well, there's a lot more in here than I would have thought of originally. It's really been a big help.
You have enough to play now. You're going to be all right. Anything more I might give you now, well, it could be confusing. And, I must say, you certainly didn't have any trouble learning your lines.
Well, in pro football, we have maybe 200 different sets and formations. You get so you can memorize pretty good.
Okay. Well, I'll leave you now. You and Rachel just run the lines, all right? And if something occurs to you that you want to try, just go ahead. Don't be afraid to experiment.
All right.
Yeah, I'll see you later, and good luck.
Thanks again.
Do you want to take it from the top?
Nope.
Why not?
I've been sitting here for an hour running this thing with you. I'm not going to get any better or any worse. What I was thinking about was last night.
It happened. It's all over.
No, it isn't. You were right. You were honest. What I'd really like to take from the top is asking you out again.
Oh, Frank, it just wouldn't work.
Why don't you let me be the judge of that?
All right.
All right, what?
I'll see you.
Where?
Just a place I know. Just let it alone for now, okay?
Okay.
You about ready?
Any minute now.
I'll check.
Okay.
Well, good morning. Mr. Ryman, how are you?
Oh, fine, just fine. So we're going to get a little film on Frank, eh?
The idea.
Is that a sound boom?
Yes, it is.
These tests are only supposed to be for makeup and wardrobe. What do we need sound for?
I needed the sound to get some acting film on Frank.
Does Frank know about this?
He does.
Why wasn't I informed?
Well, it didn't seem important.
Well, isn't it customary to inform the executive producer of a picture?
Mr. Ryman, you are the executive producer in name only. Now, you'll get a screen credit. But I am the producer and the director, me alone.
Oh, very well, Kevin. I'm sure you know best. I merely dropped by to tell you that Dottie has arranged for Frank to be guest of honor at the Sports Writers' Luncheon today. Will you be free by 1 o'clock?
I can't promise you that.
But you'll try.
Of course I'll try.
Thank you, Kevin. Ready for rehearsal.
All right, let's bring in the first team.
First team.
What are you looking for, Jason?
Something that ain't here.
Like what?
Food, blankets, medicine, things like that.
We got enough of those things.
Well, we got enough of guns, I know that.
We got enough of everything, Pa says.
I know what Pa says.
Don't you believe it?
Right now, I don't know what to believe. I know I've been told one thing, and I've just seen another.
Doesn't matter what you've seen. It matters what you've been told. Now, forget what you've seen.
Look, I've fought me one war. Now, that's enough for any man. I came along on this to plant seeds in the ground, to watch them grow, to raise cattle and a family and make a place for myself. Now, Paul knew that's what I wanted. He should have known I wouldn't go along with this.
Cut and print, and that'll do it. Thank you, Rachel. Right?
Thank you, Rachel. Well, it felt kind of... I don't know. I guess it felt all right.
Well, we'll know more when we see the film tomorrow. Look, you got a luncheon appointment at 1 o'clock. If you hustle, you can just make
That's right. Thanks, Kevin.
Rachel, can you stick around for a few minutes?
Sure.
Well, what did you think?
Fair.
There. We've got 5 days. What do you think you can do? Look, will you call my office? There's somebody waiting for me there. Tell Mitch to send him down.
Right.
Rachel, I want to shoot the test again.
Frank just left.
Yeah, well, I want to shoot it with Todd Skinner.
I thought Frank was set.
Rachel, love, will you work with Mr. Skinner, too? For me?
All right, Kevin.
Thank you.
You saw Carver's test?
I just ran it.
And?
Excuse me, your door was open.
It's all right. Come in. Later on that, Mitch.
All right.
Sit down, will you please? Like a cup of coffee?
Oh, no, thanks. You're up early this morning.
That's right.
I wonder if you're going to tell me why you're up so early.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. That's why I asked you to come in here and sit down. Although I do have this premonition that you already know.
My title of executive producer, meaningless though it may be, still entitles me to some information.
Look, Mr. Ryman, I've been dealing with agents and managers of one kind or another all my professional life, so let's stop sparring with each other, all right? I just saw the footage I shot on Frank yesterday. You know I just saw it. You want me to tell you how he was?
I wish you would.
Frank Carver has poise. He has a pleasant personality. He is also a nationally known football star. All that gives him enough to do television commercials and talk shows, but it does not give him enough to play John Valent's son in the Sooners. No way.
Well, That's a very forceful statement, Mr. Grant. Look, you've got a $4 million budget. That means you'll have to bring in more than $9 million at the box office to break even. John Vallon is virtually the only actor left in the business who could possibly ensure you of that.
I see you've been doing your homework.
I've done enough of it to know that you only have enough insurance to break even. Frank Carver and his attendant publicity is your only insurance of a profit.
What about my insurance of making a good film?
I'm interested in bringing people to the box office and into the theater. Once they're there, it becomes your problem.
Just the money, huh? That's all you care about.
I never saw anybody turn it down.
Well, you're looking at someone right now. Try to understand this, Mr. Ryman. The Sooners ends in a traditional Western shootout, only this time between father and son. For 35 years, John Vallon has been making pictures. The audience has been conditioned to care what happens to him. And they will. No problem. But if they don't care about what happens to the actor who plays his son, Jason, then you got no picture, none. You need a very good actor. I'm wrong. You need an outstanding actor. And without one, I will not produce it or direct it.
You mean you're going to walk away from it?
Like a shot.
Another very forceful statement. But I don't think you can afford to make it. In doing this homework of mine, I looked up the grosses on your last 3 pictures. Only one of which has made back its negative cost to date. Now, what makes you so sure that the Sooners, with the help of Frank Carver, won't be just the winner you need? Bracken thinks it will.
Mr. Ryman, you don't think I can walk away from this, do you?
No, I don't.
Watch.
What is this place?
It's McAndrews Foundation. It's an orphanage. I once lived here before they put up the new building.
You know, I think that's the first personal thing you've ever said. What do you want me to do? Sign autographs for the kids?
A little more than that. You see, I told them I was bringing you by, and they were kind of hoping they could get some pointers from Mr. Frank Carver himself.
Well, where's Artie and his crew?
This is my place, Frank. It's very private to me. There's never been a studio photographer here, and there never will be. This is going to be your last free time before you start shooting. I wanted to take advantage of it.
Well, that's fair enough. Wonder who the new director's going to be.
New director? What new director?
Well, Kevin Grant left the picture. Charlie Ryman told me just this morning.
I didn't know that.
Well, does it make a difference?
Look, when we get inside, I'll introduce you to Mr. Borden, and he'll get you together with the kids. Got to make a phone call.
Down. 73. Hut, hut, hut.
All right, that's good. Hustle back. Line up, same positions. That's good, Eddie. Now, only don't go into the line standing up like that, son. That's only a short yardage play. So you go in low and power your way through.
Okay, can I do it again?
You bet. Line up. First, we need a new quarterback. Who wants to play quarterback? What about you, son?
Oh, he never does nothing. He couldn't be no quarterback.
Well, now, wait a minute. You know, somebody once said that about Johnny Unitas.
We're better than he is.
What's your name, son?
Walter.
All right, Walter, you want to play quarterback for me? Okay, let's go. Come on. All right, line up, same position.
Come on.
All right, you stand over the center just like this. Hey, that's pretty good. You've been watching television, huh? Okay, now, you take the snap from the center. You take one step back. And by that time, Eddie here, he'll be right even with you. So you slam that ball right into the middle. I mean, slam it in there hard. Can you do that? Okay, let's run one. On 3 now. Okay, here we go.
Down. 73. Hut, hut, hut.
All right, let's run it again. Everybody clear on it?
Yeah. Down. Okay. Hut, hut, hut.
Run. Go. Hustle, run. Okay, hold it. We didn't block on that play. Let's go. Let's run again.
Study period. Just make it going good.
What do you mean, you got to go now?
Yes, Mr. Carver.
Frank, huh?
Okay. Can you come back?
Well, I'll try.
Good. Tomorrow?
Well, I don't think so. I'll be making that picture. I'll be pretty busy.
What about Saturday? You don't work Saturdays, do you?
Well, I'll see what I can do. But I don't want you to count on it.
Okay.
Well, you know, lots of things come up. I may even have to go out of town on location.
We understand, don't we, guys? Yeah.
Okay, y'all better hustle in before you be late.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You will try to make it Saturday.
Well, I said I'd try.
I was on the phone with David Evans. He told me the whole story of why Kevin's leaving the picture.
I don't think that makes a difference. Charlie Ryman wasn't even interested in who the director was going to be when he made the deal with Brackett.
Would you stop it with your Charlie Ryman? There's 1,000 Charlie Rymans in this business, and there are damn few Kevin Grants. Now, Kevin left this picture, put his whole career on the line, rather than make a bad film. Now,
Wait a minute. Who said it was going to be bad?
I tell you, Frank, to become an actress, to work in this business, I had to do a lot of things I don't consider myself a very nice person for. But I am nice enough to tell you to get out of this business while there's still time. I just can't believe that being a mediocre movie actor can mean that much to you.
Now, wait a minute. Mediocre.
Kevin made another test of the same scene with Todd Skinner. Todd's devoted as much time to his career as you have to yours. He has on screen what you have on the football field. I know. I shot the test with him. Now, you're getting the big star treatment. You can pick up a phone and have the test run. I wonder if you have enough guts.
You should have known I'd want no part of this.
Would you connect me with Kevin Grant's office, please?
Yes, Bill. $30,000 above Frank's last year's salary is a very generous offer. No question about it. But with the money he's making on this movie, I just don't see how our tax situation can permit it. Now, if we were to start talking participation deals, say a part of the concessions or television money, that'd be an entirely different thing. All right, Bill, fine. Well, of course we'll let you think about it. Right. I've just been talking to Bill Honeycutt. You know something? You're going to be a very wealthy young man.
He just ran some film for me, Charlie.
Oh, what?
2 tests. Mine and the test Kevin made of Todd Skinner.
He had no right to test Todd Skinner.
No, but he did. I'm no actor, Charlie.
Frank, nobody expects an Academy Award performance. Just relax, you'll be fine.
I'm beginning to think I never should have gotten into this.
I got you into it. I did it because I thought it was the best thing for you. I still do. Oh, Frank. Well, now, wait a minute. What are you doing here? You're no longer associated with us.
My dressing room, Charlie. I called and asked him to be here.
What's it all about, Frank?
I just saw Todd Skinner's screen test.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't want you to see that test. I didn't mean to cause you any embarrassment.
He's a fine actor. He should play the part.
Oh, stop it, Frank. Who are you to judge your own impact?
Face it, Charlie. Todd Skinner's a better actor than I'll ever be.
So he's a better actor. What about it? Someday some young halfback will walk into training camp who could be a better football player than you are. What are you going to do about it?
Well, then I'll watch you try and sign him up.
Oh, thanks, friend.
You would try and sign him, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would. That's my job.
Yes, it is. And you do it very well. But let's be honest with each other and let's both do what we're best at. You're not an executive producer, and I'm not an actor. It's as simple as that.
The point I was trying to make was that you'd fight this kid for the starting job. You wouldn't just lie down and give up.
Of course I'd fight him on the football field. That's where I'm good.
Good. You're the best.
Okay, the best. But my point is, that's where I earn my keep. I can't earn my keep as an actor.
Who says you can't? You're the hottest thing in the business right now. When you're hot, you move. You take advantage of it. That's a basic. We all know that. Now, let me ask you something. Suppose you didn't do this picture right now, and you got hurt the first day in training camp. What are you then?
Still me.
Frank, we've been together a long time. I don't mean to present a bill, but don't you think you owe me something in this?
Like what? Outside of giving him a chance to be a not very good motion picture actor, what does he owe you specifically that he wouldn't owe any other business manager?
You take a lot on yourself, Mr. Grant.
I've got something at stake here, too, Mr. Ryman.
He does, Charlie. Can you still get back on the picture with me out of it?
I don't know. It doesn't really matter right now. What I do know is that I'm a lot more interested in seeing a great football player do his thing than I am in watching the performance of a mediocre actor.
Good actor, mediocre actor. It's a great opportunity.
Sure, it's a great opportunity. It just happens to be the wrong one. I know you're trying to do what's best for me, Charlie. You always have. But it's just as much my fault as anyone's. I just let it get out of hand.
What happens if you get hurt?
Then I'll go to Bill Honeycutt and get a front office job. I'll do all right.
I'm sure you will.
Oh, I know I will. Charlie here will help me. Come on, Charlie. You still got all those commercials and endorsements to take care of? Besides, you always did like 2 chores better than Sardi's anyway.
You got me there. And I suppose I could line you up with a broadcasting job in a year or 2. A lot of money in that.
I'll call Bracken myself. Todd Skinner will be just great in the film. I'm really looking forward to seeing your picture.
I'm looking forward to seeing you next fall, having a very big game against the Rams. I'm a Ram fan.
Thanks.
Good luck, Frank. Mr. Ryman?
At first you don't succeed. Want me to show you how?
How'd you know I was here?
I called around. I understand you were at the orphanage this afternoon.
I stopped by. What have you got, a studio party here or something?
I came to see you.
Was that deliberate?
Hey, Rachel, how about one of you and Frank, huh?
Sorry, no pictures.
No pictures.
Not tonight.
Oh, you've got to be putting me on, Rachel.
Jimmy, this is private.
Okay.
Shoot. Well, I see you're back on form. All right, we'll play a game of straight pool. You spot me 2 to 1.
2 to 1?
Right.
You've got to be kidding.
You're in the middle of a TV land time war. Our cultural time capsule of television entertainment, just the way it was in 1970. And coming up next, Stevie Wonder guest stars on The Flip Wilson Show. Don't go away.